hate, Derek. Like, even the things that I think are so stupid, like you wanting to write a Christmas song, I have never once not been supportive of that.
That's not necessarily true.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. We're giving you guys a review of Married at First Sight. Yes, we're going to talk about Katie and Derek. Trust me, it's going to get wild in here. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, clicking that bell button for the notifications of the uploads, baby. And for those of you who are returnees, mineral gang. Mineral gang. Listen, you ain't ready for all of that. Listen, you ain't got the minerals, you ain't got the minerals, Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Gay. Listen, you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, get the frick out. Alright, cool, Chile. Blood. Let's start on our bangers. Alright, cool. So we get introduced straight away to Katie and Derek in the house where they're talking about a very sensitive topic where they're talking about his dreams, and Katie feeling like he's got too many dreams. It's not realistic, it's not being planned out well, and she's basically feeling like there's a competition between his dreams and her. Okay? And we're gonna really break it down here. Now I want you to notice a lot of things here because it's interesting. Number one, look at proximity. I always tell you this, guys, watch out for what? Proximity. Look at the distance between the two of them. They're not too far apart. Now he even closes it by making his foot on the table. All of that, yeah, means is showing us that they're not distant from each other. They're having a conversation which is intense and it's about some sensitive things, but they're not distant from one another, right? And so when she's talking about the sensitive issue, I noticed that obviously with her body language, you know, she's leaning back at that moment. You know, her arms not crossed or faded. She's just trying to have a conversation about it at the moment. I think her hands were even in her lap. So she was quite soft about it at the beginning, yeah?
And we know what we need to work on, and
nothing too intrusive, yeah? And she starts off by flowering the conversation with, you know, talking about the dreams, but not in a, she doesn't go into the situation of the problem that she's feeling at the moment, yeah? The moment she's about to start going into the problem of the dreams that he's having, she comes forward. Now that shows you that there's been a change in the dynamic and in the tone and the energy she's about to bring, yeah? Now again, that change in energy and that change in topic and change in depth of conversation has shown itself through her body language
for each other. And how that's not necessarily...
Because oftentimes when the conversation gets to a place where it's a bit difficult, we do things to make ourselves feel more comfortable having that conversation. So you might notice that when someone's about to have a difficult conversation, they shift in their seat to get themselves prepared to go into a what? Difficult conversation. The body's prepared itself. It gives it a signal. And so that's what she does. So she comes off the sofa and begins to go into a depth of conversation, which is important. What was interesting, obviously, is the fact that she mentions as well, like, not for him to not get defensive, right? And when I'm looking at his body language, he's quite stiff, right? And this is actually Derek in general. Though he's a very playful person, he's quite stiff. If you watch him at that moment, yeah, his body is rigid.
Change in every marriage. Because, you know, you're committed to this other person's happiness.
Yeah, everything about him, he's not moving. Arm on the armrest, arm by his side like this, leg on the table, nothing's moving, yeah? The mouth just going, but nothing's moving. This is very important because at that moment, he's been inflexible, right? He's been completely inflexible. At first when I was watching it, I wasn't sure. I was just looking at it, okay, maybe he's just not reacting. But then I realized, no, the non-reaction is a reaction. He's completely still. He's keeping his body locked. What he's doing, he's bracing himself for impact. And the impact is what? The conversation. He knows where this is going, as he stated. You know, and I mean, I appreciate the way that Katie started off this conversation because she took it softly. She didn't want to go too hard. She was gentle with the tone, gentle with what she was saying, and she wasn't coming hard on his head just yet. But he said directly that, you know, he can't see himself giving up his dreams. And listen, let me be honest with you. In relationships, everybody's got dreams. Everybody has got dreams. So for someone to give up their dream for you, I don't understand why I'm giving up that dream for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain dreams, yes, we know, but she's basically saying a trade-off, in a sense, in the end. She was saying a trade-off, that basically, your dreams or me. What? Bruv, why would it be your dreams or me? You are part of the dreams, as he said. You're part of these dreams. And, you know, there's a reason why I believe her fear is not from a place about his dreams, but from a place of the fact that she feels like she's competing for his love. And she feels like the love that she wants, because he said he can't love her in 8 weeks, that's played on her mind. But you can love your dreams, but you can't love me. And that's playing a thing on her mind. So this is not about his dreams. This is about wrestling for his love. Do you understand? All right, cool.
Shouldn't shut it down without even exploring it.
Derek being such a dreamer worries me a little bit.
She talks about, obviously, she's concerned about his dreaminess and the balance. And I absolutely believe what she's saying. Yes, there should be balance when it comes to your dreams. In the sense of there should be a realisticness to it. There should be time format. There should be knowing that there should be a breakdown of this is for now, this is for tomorrow, this is for next year, whatever. But there should be some type of plan, right? And now, if there is no plan, if there's been no plan presented towards Katie, then I can understand why you're hesitant and a little bit annoyed and a little bit frustrated and a little bit scared, because someone's just got bare dreams. And we've watched Think Like a Man, and you see the guy's an ideal person. He's got dreams on his head but can't complete. Those type of people, yes, there are people like that who have dreams aboard but can't complete. How are you going to complete these plans? That's very important, but I will come back to that later. You know, when she's talking about this particular situation, about the dreams, I want you to just watch this part. You know, watch what she does with her. She starts to rub her face. She has an awkward smile that comes across her. Her head tilted upwards now, and she then shuts her eyes. All of this is to show how uncomfortable she is with this particular situation. How uncomfortable she is with the conversation. How uncomfortable she is with, how uncomfortable she is with the fact that there's no balance to his dreams, according to her. And at that moment, she's feeling like you know, when the conversations get a bit sticky, yeah, you're doing things to kind of, you know, like when sometimes when I hear someone sing or play an instrument and it's bad, yeah, I'm like, I don't want them to know that, but I do something. I'm like, ooh, yes, yes, but really, I'm like, oh, that's bad, girl. Please stop it. Oh my days. But because I don't want to, do you know what I mean? And that's what I saw with Katie when she does that as well. And we see now when Derek finally comes out to play, when Derek finally comes out to attack, yeah, because up until that point he was defending himself, being ready for brace of impact, yeah. It gets to a point where he starts gesticulating. What that means is he starts talking with his hands, because up until that point he was rigid.
Thing to me is, first of all, finding true love. Second of all, having a family, raising kids.
And then, and now, when it comes to saying about the fact that he will not give up his dreams, you know, when he starts saying, he was questioning about the kids, do you want kids or family? And he said, listen, of course I want kids, of course I want a family. This is my first priority, but I also want my dreams. At that point, his hands start moving to explain how he feels. At that same point, and a little bit earlier, Katie also has started using gesticulation also to get her point across. The reason why people use gesticulation to get their point across is because sometimes you're not seeing what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying? No, do you see what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm doing? So when she's doing that, what she's doing is trying to explain to him in a way that, hey, look, when she says, oh, look, you know, you're up here and I'm down here and we need to meet in the middle. And he's saying, listen, I hear what you're saying, but what you're telling me is that, listen, I don't care about you. I don't care about family and kids. When I'm saying I do care about the family and kids. And when he starts gesticulating, that's him coming now out of defensive mode into offensive. Yeah? He's coming out of defensive into offensive, which is really interesting. Because he started counting on his fingers. Yeah, saying this is love, there's a family, there's the kids. And then he obviously then, as she was talking, he was doing a prayer sign as well. So it's interesting that all these things were happening because in the beginning he was rigid and she was one doing the talking and she was laying back and then she was coming forward. As it got conversation, got serious, and then he began to come into the conversation. Because what he was trying to do at first, because she has stated, this is why the movement was happening. She stated at first, like, I don't want you to be defensive. And she said it twice, I don't want you to be defensive, okay? Don't get too defensive. So now, in his brain, he's going, okay, cool. Don't do anything that's going to make you look defensive. So he goes rigid. Then, when he's finally had enough, and he wants to outstate his point, he comes out slowly but surely with the gesticulation. Because he wants to show now that he's a different situation. Moving on from that, the argument that they had, woo, Chile, that argument actually started with, an accusation, yeah, from Derek's camp, yeah, and whether it's right or wrong, it's an accusation, whatever. When Derek, up to this point, Katie has not raised her voice, she's kept it nice and cool, he's not really raising his voice, but you can see the passion in him. Alright, cool. Then he states that, Katie, you're not supporting me.
I'm asking you is not say no before it even happens.
When have I done that, though? I have never not been supportive.
You don't support my dreams. You're basically shutting me down. You're killing my dreams, right? When he states this important fact for himself, we see Katie's voice raised for the first time. And then and the reason why she's triggered, there's only two reasons why. Either she feels that she's been falsely accused, or two, she may realize when he said that actually she has not been supportive, and the guilt is now coming out, and so she's raising her voice. And so she says this, she says, when have I not supported you, basically. Now, when she says when I have not, that means she's saying, I feel like you falsely accuse me. When have I not supported your dreams? And this is where the argument actually ensues, because when the accusation comes, it's like when someone says, never have you ever. You've never ever. And when a person says never ever, a person goes into whoa, whoa, whoa. And they may even just find one time. And they'll say, whoa, remember that time when, because they feel like they've been falsely accused. So whenever you're dealing with an argument, even if you feel like they've never ever done it, and I do this all the time and I have to change it, never ever is going to cause an argument. Rather, you just say, listen, look, do you know what? There's been times where I feel like you've really not supported me. Because what happens then is that the person has to go, okay, cool, do you know what? It's not that I haven't supported them. There's been times where I have not supported them. And then they can go, oh, do you know what? I felt like I was supporting you because of da-da-da. Okay, cool. I just want to just put you at some certain points. These points here, A, B, C, and D, I felt like you weren't really, like supporting what I do. And how I wanted the support was that you do this, that. See the difference, right? But when you accuse someone of saying, never have you ever supported my dreams, you're always a dream killer, you're always this, you're always that, you're always this or never that, is definitives. And nobody wants to be put in a definitive box. You understand? Unless they're putting it in themselves. Like, I'm always going to love you. They might put that definitively because it's a positive thing. I'm always going to tell you what the truth is because they feel that's a positive thing. Do you feel what I'm saying? Definitives don't work when it's being negatively applied to you because it means that you can't change. That's why the argument ensued. So if you're having those arguments, guys, make sure you don't go into definitives.
Don't be mad at me because I'm telling you what you don't want to hear, which is that it's not realistic to have that many dreams.
Then obviously Derek goes on to say, obviously, look, do you know what? He feels like he's not being supported in his dreams. And then Katie said something which was really interesting. She said, don't be mad at me for telling you the truth about about him being unrealistic with his dreams. And at that point, remember I was telling you earlier on in the series that she was saying about, oh, you're a bit like a bigger nerd of me, da-da-da-da. And I said, these words you keep saying, Katie, are going to bite you in the arse. Because actually, when you're saying it, it's coming from somewhere. The Bible says that it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, it's what comes out of him. Because out of him, is what he says comes out of his heart. So when people are making jokes, when people are making serious statements, irrespectively, it's coming from somewhere. Do you understand? Like if I make a joke about the fact that I was talking to someone yesterday and they were Nigerian, I said to them, they were talking about money. I said, oh, you Nigerians, you love money. Now I was joking, but there's a truth in it that we apply that Nigerians love money. And I made a joke about 419. Now the person doesn't do 419, but the truth is Nigerians have been attached with 419. So when I make that joke, it's coming from somewhere. Do you understand? So it doesn't come out of nowhere. And that's the problem. So when Katie's not, when Katie said obviously I have to tell you the truth, what she's not telling Derek is that the truth of the matter is there's another thing that's contributing towards how she feels about your dreams, and it's got nothing to do with you per se, but all to do with her insecurity. And I said this as well, when she was getting in this relationship, because she didn't lock off the original relationship, it's going to start playing in this relationship. She wants to feel loved, she wants to feel safe, she wants to feel like she's entertained, and that's not going to be a simple case because you've come into it on the back of another relationship, bruv. And remember, I said that, look, hearing that must have further compounded the fact that he ain't going to fall in love after 8 weeks. That must have further compounded that. Like, he can't trust you. You understand? But anyway, it's another story. As she was doing that, just wanted to watch as well, as she was talking about that, she was actually punching her hand. So though she wasn't getting aggressive in tone per se, but she was punching her hand as she was talking. When people, listen, there are different ways our body wants to excrete the energy we're feeling. And so this is showing some type of aggression. Yeah, and regardless of whether you like it or not, it's a passive type of aggression. If it was a bloke doing it, we'll be saying, whoa, be careful now. And then obviously we get Katie storming out. One thing that she said before then though, one thing that to support the fact that one thing to just kind of prove that obviously Derek is not getting a full support is that when she was talking about his Christmas song, she said, you know, and this silly Christmas songs that you want to do. Whoa, silly. I think she said silly or stupid. I can't remember. Whoa, is that the kind of adjectives we're using now to describe somebody's dream? That should let you know what that person thinks of you. She thinks she's higher and mighty than him, but she really needs him. Yeah, every time she tries to play like she's grown and more mature than him, she reverts back to using very immature behavior. Do you get it? So it's almost like she sees herself more grown than him because he's got a playful nature and because he sees the world in a certain way. And there are parts of him which I would say, yes, do need some growing up and some maturity, but it's the way that she views him, almost like he's a little kid. Do you understand? That she's trying to rear. And that's a problem. You know, that's why she was talking to her mum the other time as well, and saying, like, you know, he keeps on doing he farted, whatever. And I understood that, but it was like, again, it's all part of the process of where she situates and how she boxes him in. And listen, he's refusing to be boxed in. He's refusing to be belittled. Do you understand? And he refuses to give him his dreams. So when she stormed out, actually, she stormed out and shouted as she was doing it, as if that, fam, the conversation is over. But why should the conversation be over? You was talking. You was having a discussion. That shows her level of immaturity and the fact that when she doesn't get her way, what she does. And many people are like this. They don't get their way. They start shouting, hollering, barking mad, and then walking out, slamming doors. Yeah? I want to show you that I'm angry. And so before she even went out as well, you know, there were some things that were happening to her body language. She then started folding her arms. She rubbing her forehead. And then she accused him of not knowing what he wants, right? And then she swore at the same time to make a point. Like as she was saying her thing, she was swearing. You know, the folded arms, the rubbing the forehead again. See, suddenly the behavior is closed now, right?
Dreams to you are more than this marriage.
Beforehand it was open. She had her arm in her palm. You know, she moved forward a little bit to talk, but now it's. And as she's folding her arms now, it's that she's getting frustrated. Yeah, she's getting annoyed at the conversation. And these are the things that people do when you're talking to them. You start watching their behavior. You start, whoa, what's what we're doing? All right then. Okay.
I don't know if I can really like be his #1 cheerleader because I'd be pretending.
And then we later on get Katie talking to obviously Dr. Viviana, and we see that some of the things that she says really interesting because she denies the fact that she could be his biggest supporter. Look at this. She says, oh, I'm not sure if I can be his biggest supporter. That lets us know where this woman lies, really and truly. She's not about Derek. She's about her getting loved. You understand? How can you not support his dreams? And that comes from a place of fear and insecurity. That thinking that his dreams will take over and you'll be left behind. Because that's her fear. And that fear is then displaying itself in give up your dreams or me. And then that's a displacement because her anger is then being driven at Derek when really and truly is that she really just wants the situation to be where she's loved, taken care of, and covered, right? And that starts obviously with the fact that she, like I said, came in incorrect to this relationship. She came in incorrect. But obviously as well, my biggest concern is that she couldn't support, and you know, Dr. Viviana had to say, listen, look, if you've got to fake it till you make it, you understand? Now, I would say this, don't fake it till you make it, but fake it till you make it. You understand? Don't fake it till you make it, but fake it till you make it. In the sense of, look, you shouldn't have to fake it till you make it. You understand? You shouldn't have to. You should want to support the dreams of your individual partner because you care for them. But when you're selfish and you're in fear, you won't want to do it because it's about you. You understand? What we saw from her was that selfishness. And so for me, that energy, that what she could, and then, you know, you got to almost got to pretend and say, look, I'm supporting it, I'm your biggest supporter. And the fact that she said she's going to struggle to do that, makes me think, where is your priorities lying? Who's your heart with? With Pastor Cal. What thing was interesting from for our point of view is that, again, watch the proximity. She was lying flat this time, looking at him, and they were still in close proximity. They hadn't left. For me, watching it, I felt like Katie was almost giving him an ultimatum at this point, because she was saying that obviously it feels like she's under ultimatum, either his dreams or her. But that was not what he was saying. If you watch it carefully, that's not what he was saying. What he was saying was that, look, You know, I want you, but I also want my dreams alongside you. Now, that is not an unfair ask. You understand?
Framed it almost sounded like an ultimatum. Like, it's like, you said you only want to be married to me if you can still have all these dreams.
It's not an unfair ask for dreams and for your girl. You understand? Or for your man and your dreams. It doesn't make sense. Why should you want... And you know what I'm saying? She actually made him an ultimatum in a sense about the dreams or me. And so she then projected that feeling onto him. What a self-defense mechanism. You know? To make him feel bad. Crazy. And I think what was interesting was that, you know, after that conversation that they had then, Derek comes off off the edge of the sofa and then reaches over, gives his hand over. Now that was a distinctive player move to show her that, hey, look, I'm here for you, I'm here for us, I want the family, I want the kids, I also want my dreams, you understand? I'm here for you, don't fret, don't stress, do you understand? And I think that was very, very important to see that behavior as well. What I would say in solutions-wise for these guys, he's never going to give up his dreams. So there's no point fighting him on giving up dreams. If he gives up the dreams, he will resent you forever, Katie. So do not make him give up the dreams. There must be a compromise. So there must be, you know, it's called SMART, which is specific, measurable. What's the A? I can't remember what the A is. Reasonable, and then time, I think. So it's like, you must specify this dream. The dream must be measurable, you know, and then I don't know what the A is, something, and the R is reasonable, and then within a certain time frame. That this gives us an idea in terms of how achievable this thing is. And so one of the solutions to the problem here is that, hey, Derek, begin writing these dreams down, but begin giving us timescales, and begin plotting how you're going to make this work. Do you get me? Because yes, you can write a book and be a father. Many people do it. The fact that she's even saying that you can't is a problem. You know, it's showing that she's not thinking in a logical manner, but she's thinking with emotions, which is disregarding logic. And so there needs to be a measurable aspect of your business plan in terms of your dreams that you want to achieve and your bucket list that you want to go ahead with. So for me, I think both parties here, what we can do is, like I said, sit down, discuss this. And what Katie can do is say, listen, look, hey, look, I want to be able to, and she must be able to contribute to this because it's part of your dreams, you're not going to give it up. She can say, hey, look, you know, you've got 3 or 4, you've got like 10 dreams here. Let's focus on 2 this year, yeah? What we can do this year, and let's start planning for ones that are long term, right? And that then allows her then to say, listen, look, I'm going to help you, but we're also going to be measurable, and we're also going to be specific, I guess, about how we're going to go about this, so that we know how we're going to do this, right? So that then she has an idea. Otherwise, she's going to be left in the dark, and she'll be like, yeah, I don't know, whenever you're doing these things, and it's like, oh, you just do it whenever you want to do it, and then it leaves me spare, blah, blah, blah. Nah, work together to try and get to that point. And Derek, and he said something, Derek said, obviously, you know, I don't know if I'll achieve all my goals. Bro, well, if you say that, what do you think that other person's thinking then? These are just wild goals. And then later on, he says in the clip that actually, you know, he knows he believes he's going to achieve all his goals. So which one is it? Why are you telling Katie that you're not sure you're going to achieve all your goals, but telling the camera you're going to achieve all your goals? What is that, bro? That's confusion. You know what I'm saying? And that almost proves her point that you do not know what you want, bro. But that's not the case. So now sit down together, talk about it, and say, look, these are the dreams I want to achieve. Let's see how we can. And Katie then should say, look, let's look at these particular dreams. Let's see how we can actually do these and get this involved. You know what I'm saying? Because she's got dreams too. You know what I'm saying? He said he wants to support her in her dreams, and she said, yeah, gladly. So yeah, we need Katie to be more supportive of his dreams and not belittling him when he has these dreams. Alright, guys, that's Katie and Derek done there. Watch out for the other 2. We're going to do Zach and Mindy and Brandon and Taylor going forward. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love.